You are watching NFSU MPhil Psychology part number 6. If you have missed previous 5 parts, then you are missing many of these things. So make sure that you watch all the previous part from part number 1 to part number 5 followed by this part number 6. And to Okay, let's start. According to Freud, first of all, Freud, what he has told us about the PD thing called as the psychic determinism as well. The id is governed by, now the question is very simple, very easy. How the id is governed? Now, how many things we are having? We are having the id, the ego, and the superego. Now, the id is governed by what? The pleasure principle or the reality principle. Only two options are the most logical over here. And the correct answer is your pleasure principle, and it is the correct answer. Fair enough. Easy one. According to Freud, the id is governed by pleasure principle, reality principle, ego ideal, and creature comfort principle. Now, what else Freud has given us? He has given us the psychosexual stages called as the OAPLG, oral, anal, phallic, latency, and genital, and the Oedipus we are founding in the phallic stage, and we have just solved this question in previous our videos. Apart from that, he has also told about the psychic determinism, that anything which is happening has the prior mental cause, mental events for that particular thing. And when we discussed about the psychic determinism, we have also discussed about the RD and the BD as well. So if you have missed the previous part, make sure that you watch all those 5. Now, coming up next, Sigmund Freud was the person who, along with Carl Jung or Carl Jung, however you want to pronounce, with Carl Jung, visited Clark University in 1909 on the invitation of Stanley Hall. I hope every one of you might know, not might know, should know who is Stanley Hall. The APA was organized by this guy, Stanley Hall, 1892, and in 1909 they visited with Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. Both visited in 1909 Clark University on the invitation of Stanley Hall. And to your knowledge, Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, and Alfred Adler were the contemporary. Now, what does contemporary means? For example, if we will take that Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7, and not Lionel Messi, okay, and Neymar, these all guys are what? These all are contemporary. Okay, CR7, Messi, and Neymar, if you know these guys. If not, then we can say Virat Kohli and Dhoni, and we can say one more, etc. Rohit Sharma, we can say these are the contemporary. Okay, these are of the same time. But we cannot say Virat Kohli and we cannot say like Virendra Sehwag over here or Sachin Tendulkar. We can say, but these are the most relevant ones. Like in the same way, Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, and Alfred Adler were the contemporary. They were working on nearly same times. But as you know, sometimes working on the same thing makes them depart to move something or the other, and that is how analytical psychology came up and the individual psychology came up. Now it's your job to answer who gave analytical psychology and who gave individual psychology where in the comment comfort principle, I mean in the comment section. Okay, now let's move forward to the next question, and the next question says that which of the following is not an axis 1 disorder? Now let's suppose we don't know completely about axis 1. We don't know about axis 1. Okay, but major depressive disorder, anxiety, panic, and borderline personality, can you just pick the odd one out? I hope this much psychopathology you would have studied. Can you just pick the odd one out in axis 1 disorder, which cannot be possible or which can't be possible? Borderline personality, panic disorder, anxiety, and major depressive. Don't you think PD, AD, and MDD are somewhat related to what? Overthinking, anxiety, panic, and all those things? Can you just try to relate that thing, that these three sounds more similar as compared to the BPD, borderline personality disorder, and that is the correct answer. Sometimes in the exam hall as well, you will not be able to answer everything which you have read, but by using your own knowledge, using some precise common sense, you can try to at least eliminate the options and try to choose the best one. And even if you read some general psychology books which have been recommended, then you will be able to answer at least from the DSM-4 point of view as well. Axis 1 stays for the clinical psychiatric diagnosis and Axis 2 is for the personality disorder. If you know this much even, we will not talk about the 5 axes completely, but if you know this much even that in Axis 2 there are personality disorders mentioned, then it's pretty obvious that over here you are not going to mark this thing. Okay, I'm not saying that you have to memorize or remember each and everything, but using some simple common sense, if you know in Axis 2 there was some mention you have read somewhere that personality disorder or MR, mental retardation, will be in axis number 2. Then pretty obviously you are going to mark, not going to mark all these options. You are definitely going to mark option number 4, and that is why they have asked which of the following is not an axis 1 disorder. Moving forward to the next one. Now, which of the following is not a common way of getting compliance from others? Okay, so not getting compliance from others. Which of the following is not a common way? And now again the odd one out will come into picture. Now in NFSU you are getting two questions like this. So make sure that you are well prepared for 2025 edition as well, that there will be questions like this. Okay, and don't forget to share the QP so that people like you can get answers of these things and prepare well for the upcoming NFSU entrance examination. Okay, all right. Which of the following is not a common way? I am just telling you, if you have read C book or any general psychology book, or maybe Baron for the social psychology thing, if you have read, then out of these which you have not read, out of these, what is that thing which you have never heard or read in these books? Foot in the door, obviously you will read in this book. Low ball, obviously you will read in this book. Door in the face, obviously you will read in these books. But broken record technique is not the common way of getting compliance, and that is why you will mark and score high in your MPhil entrance examinations. I hope foot in the door in the face, and low ball technique you would be knowing. So let's move forward to the next one. And before that, if you have not yet joined on the Telegram for free study materials, you can just join on the Telegram link given in the description, or you can search this as well. Now, which of the following statements concerning bipolar disorder is incorrect? Okay, so for the bipolar disorder, which of the following is incorrect? So can you answer this question over here? Bipolar 1 disorder includes mania. Bipolar 2 disorder includes hypomania. Bipolar 1 disorder includes hypomania. I guess they want to ask like this, or no. Bipolar 2 disorder includes hypomania. Okay. Bipolar 1 disorder includes hypomania, and bipolar 1 disorder includes periods of depression even if these do not reach the threshold for a major depressive disorder. So first of all, what is bipolar? We are having the North Pole and the South Pole. Obviously, in our globe, North Pole and South Pole, even we have the East and the West, though I have drawn differently. But yes, we are having these poles. Okay, now one pole is like you are happy and one pole is like you are sad, and that is what is happening. Your mania and depression thing coming into picture. So bipolar 1 disorder includes mania. Yes, obviously. Bipolar 2 disorder includes hypomania. Okay, we don't know about this. Bipolar 1 disorder includes hypomania. We don't know about this. Bipolar 1 disorder includes periods of depression, even if these do not reach the threshold for major depressive disorder. Let's try to analyze what is happening over here. Bipolar, you know, sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are sad, and that is occurring again and again. And what will happen if you quietly open the book? You will have also the episodes like mania and depression. Okay, now bipolar mood or affective disorder. Now tell me, do you know the difference between the affect and what mood? Yes, this disorder, earlier known as MDP, manic depressive psychosis, is characterized by recurrent episodes of mania and depression. So okay, it is true over here. Bipolar 1 disorder includes mania. Now this is absolutely correct just from the first statement we just drawn right now. Okay, now moving forward, and depression. Okay, so mania will be there and depression will be there in same patient. Okay, so let's suppose you are sitting over here, you are the patient, and you will have episodes of mania and episodes of depression. Okay, sometimes you'll be thinking, yes, I can do it, I can achieve anything in my life. At the same time, the different time you will think, I am hopeless, I am useless, and things like that. These episodes can occur in any sequence. The patients with recurrent episodes of mania, unipolar mania, are also classified here as they are rare and often resemble the bipolar patients in their clinical features. Now, the current episode in bipolar mood disorder as per the ICD-10. So, does it becomes important for you? Yes. And what does it says? Hypomania. Hypomanic. So obviously bipolar 1 disorder includes hypomania. Now you are wondering whether or not bipolar 2 disorder includes hypomania or not. Because we are not finding anything over here, but wait, let's try to find out the BPD, bipolar mania 2. Where it is given right below in front of your eyes. And for these are the bipolar disorder clinical picture. This is the normal mood. Depression might be like this, subsyndromal. This is also important for if you want to read add. Okay. Bipolar 2. Subtypes of bipolar 2 characterized by episodes of hypomania not requiring hospitalization and severe depression. So see, any bipolar thing will obviously have the mania and depression. It is the most common thing. Maniac will be there and depressive people will be there. So now you know this is correct, and this is correct. You got the answer, I hope. Now moving forward to the next one, and bipolar 1 disorder includes periods of depression even if these do not reach the threshold for major depressive disorder. For that, read more books and get the answer from there. Now retreating to an early development level involving less mature behavior, and I guess we have solved the same question in this paper as well, so it is highly recommended that you watch previous 1 to 5 edition or 1 to 5 part of these complete NFSU clinical psychology entrance series. Now retreating to an early development, sometimes you get to know about temper tantrums as well, and this is what we are going to refer right now, and that is the correct answer. And the correct answer is your regression. This is not the regression which you will do by using correlation, by using the axis y is equals to a plus bx. You will get the regression coefficient, the variables, the predictors, the criterion variable. This is not about that. Okay, this is what you study in the research portion, but over here regression is the thing, which means retreating to an early development level involving less mature behavior and responsibility is known as regression. It is not about sublimation, it is not about projection. If you read any of the books, C book, N book, whatever book you are having, it will be there, but the correct option is regression over here. And if you have ever studied chemistry or chemistry, you will be able to understand what is the meaning of sublime, okay, sublimation, and projection means you are projecting these things to somewhere else. Okay. Now moving forward to the next one, as you can see, the clinical psychology portion is coming heavily in this entrance exam. Condition involving disruption in a person's sense of personal identity is known as. Condition involving disruption in a person's sense of personal identity is known as. And this is what happens when a person has lost its identity and is now in love with Mr. Shashidhar. Okay. And what this girl was having over here, was she having somatoform? Were any bodily symptoms or not present over there? No. Was she in hell lot of anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder? No. Was she a neurotic? No. It was simply, the correct answer is option number first, dissociative disorder. Now moving forward to the next one, what kind of coping is most effective to reduce stress? And try to think, whenever you are in stress, what type of coping you do, problem focused or emotion focused, or a combination of both, or none of the above. What is the most effective one? Obviously option number third, a combination of both these things. Okay. Now logotherapy is given by, again you will find in any of the general psychology textbooks, logotherapy is given by, but you are not going to find what you are going to witness right now. And it was given by whom? Given by Viktor Frankl. Option number one is the correct one, and this is the guy, Viktor Frankl, and his book, most famous book, is Man's Search for Meaning. Okay, why you are living, what is the meaning of your life, and things like that. Viktor Frankl associated with what? Associated with your logotherapy. Now, as you know, logotherapy is a type of psychotherapy or not, but it is studied under that logotherapy given by Viktor Frankl. Now, what is Ivan Pavlov doing over here from the behaviorism? What is Carl Rogers doing here from humanism? And what is Sigmund Freud doing here from your psychoanalysis? Now, as you know, born on 26th of May 1856, Sigmund Freud gave you psychoanalysis, and those things, structural model, topographical model, and many of these things. About Carl Rogers gave you the CCP, client-centered therapy or person-centered therapy. This thing includes three most of the famous things which you are going to write answer in this paper, maybe the next part as well. Okay. Now this guy Ivan V. Pavlov, Petrovich Pavlov, from 1904, he received the Nobel Prize in 1904 for his work on what? On digestive system, from where came the concept for your unconditioned stimulus, unconditioned response, conditioned stimulus, and conditioned response. And in this thing, the most proper type, not proper, but most useful or most precise or most logical or most useful type of training is Just remember this mnemonic is DTSB. Okay, the delayed conditioning is the best one, the premier, the first one is the best one, then comes the trace, then comes the simultaneous, and then comes the backward conditioning. So if the question says which of the following is the most powerful conditioning which we can use to train something or someone, then delayed will be the very fast, because just in a matter of seconds or milliseconds the stimulus is presented. In the trace one there is some sort of delay, maybe 30 seconds, 50 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and in simultaneous it is brought together at the same time, and in the backward it is done the opposite. Okay, so Ivan Pavlo Petrovich 1904 gave the, received the Nobel Prize, and is associated with what? With behaviorism. Just 9 years after, in 1913 came the school called as behaviorism, brought you by John B. Watson. Okay, John B. Watson performed some conditioning techniques, and that little Rayner or Weiner, that guy name I don't remember exactly, but that thing was happening by John B. Watson, that fear conditioning and all. Okay, and Carl Rogers, along with whom Abraham Maslow talked about self actualization and all those things. Obviously, about the ideal self and the real self over here as well. Okay, all right, let's move forward to the next one. And non directive therapy is. And what I just missed in the previous one, the answer is lying over here. For whom I told about CCT or CCP, client centered therapy, Carl Rogers. And that is the same therapy which is called as the non-directive. I forgot to mention this non-directive therapy in the previous one. It is the non-directive therapy. It means the client has complete hold of how the conversation will go and what all things he or she will talk. It is completely into the hands of the client. Okay, but not in the rational emotive therapy and not in the Beck's cognitive therapy. Now try to comment down the answer who gave the RET or rational emotive therapy. Okay, was it Albert Ellis, Aaron Beck, or what, James Rogers? What is the correct answer? Try to answer this thing, and none of the above is obviously not the answer over here. Now moving forward, next question says that when a person has to make a choice among several goals and each goal has both its good and bad points, the person is experiencing what kind of conflict? So this question is up to you. First, second, third, fourth. What is going to be the correct answer? Approach, 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 avoidance, 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 or multiple approach avoidance. Try to answer this thing in the comment section, and we will meet in the next part, that is going to be part number 7. If you don't know the answer for this, it's completely okay. If you are not able to answer, comment properly or correctly what is going to be the answer. Go and read the C book. You will find answers over there in one particular chapter. I'm not able to recall the chapter right now, but else I would have told you. But if you read the C book, you will find this thing happening. Approach, 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 avoidance, 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 multiple approach avoidance. It is in this right hand side paper. So go and read from there if you are not able to answer it, but you should be able to answer it because you are going to clear the upcoming examination. So you should definitely answer this. With this, we have finished our part number 6 of your NFSU MPhil Clinical Psychology Entrance Examination. I hope you are enjoying all these videos. Make sure that you watch video from part number 1st to 5th, followed by part number 6 and the upcoming part number 7. Don't forget to subscribe the channel to receive such videos, and don't forget to join the Telegram channel as well, because you will get many more free things available for you right in front of you to score maximum marks. Even in the NIMANS entrance examinations, questions are coming from there only. Okay, thank you and have a nice day ahead. See you all soon in the upcoming next video of ours. Pipafini.